Okay, so the only things you see on your screen are this top app bar and then this right toolbar. There are supposed to be elements here on the left toolbar, but as you design, the elements keep adding up on the left toolbar. Hope you
Okay.
can see that. So we have the top app bar, the right toolbar, and the left toolbar. Can you hear me? If you start from the very first icon you see here, which is the Figma icon, you'll be embraced with a number of options here where you can create new files, you can edit what you're working on, then change the view. So you can decide to add grids or remove grids or show rulers and so on. So the number of options here. You can also zoom in and out and so on. Here it still has to do with editing the work you're working on. So after adding some components on the interface, you'll be able to come here and make some changes. You can add text, you can edit text, you can arrange the elements on the screen. You can also perform vector editing here. You can also see plugins. Plugins are like other, let's say they're like add-ons. I think plugins are add-ons, yeah. Let's say you're designing a screen, you can have a plugin that will help you to maybe just insert text to the screen or insert images to the screen. It makes it easier instead of you to go to the internet to go and download images and then bring them and attach them. You just easily use a plugin that will do that for you. So I think yeah, on this first icon here, which is a Figma icon, you get all of these options here. You can also do settings. You can also log out of here. You can edit your account details and so on. So that's for the first icon there. So the second button here has to do with the move tool and the scale tool. So let me quickly show you how this works. If I have a rectangle here, sorry, I'll tell you how I did that. Now to draw a rectangle, the icon here, which is this button, shows different shapes that you can use. So if you click on rectangle with this arrow, you would come to the empty space here, click and drag to create a rectangle. So you can try it out to see if it works for you.
I've done that.
Okay, now let's go back to this icon here. If you click on this tiny arrow, you would see more options around here. So you will see the move option and the scale option. Now what move simply does is that if I come to this object and I click on it, I can drag it around the screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
Can drag it around the screen. So that's the move option. Now for scale, if I come back here and click on scale, what it does is that it allows me to make these elements bigger or smaller. Have you seen that?
Mm.
So you can try it out.
Yes.
Now on the right toolbar, you will notice that the values here keep changing, which is the values that represents how large or how small this element is, and also represent the position of the of the elements. So in this case, the element here is a square. The x shows the x position of the square. The y shows the y position of the square. W stands for the width of the square, while h stands for the height of the square. So you can see that as you adjust this, those values change. Was
Yes.
that clear enough?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now moving to the next button here. If you click on that drop down icon, you would see that you have frame and slice tools here. So first of all, let me delete this element here. So when we click on the frame tool, what it simply does is that it allows us to add like a container. The frame can also be called a container. Now if I want to design a mobile app, the frame will be the 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 frame of the phone. Like let's say I want to design an app for iPhone 14 Pro. What I'll do is that I'll come here. At the
Yes.
right toolbar, you will see options for different types of devices you want to design for. So if I want to design for iPhone 14 Pro, I can quickly select iPhone 14 Pro, and then the frame of the iPhone 14 Pro comes out onto the design, the canvas. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. So the frame is like the container
How did
for
you
the design.
delete?
Come again.
How did you delete, please?
Okay. Come to this button here. Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Yeah. When you click on it, you see options on the right toolbar.
No, I said, how did you delete your rectangle?
I remove the okay, the rectangle. Just click on the rectangle and press delete.
Okay, okay, it's working. Thank you.
Okay, 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 that's fine. So let's go ahead. The next button here is a frame tool. So if you click on it, on the right toolbar, that's over here, you will have different options to select the device screen you are trying to design for. So here we have iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 13, and the rest of them. You also have tablet screen sizes. You also have desktop screen sizes. You also have for Apple Watch and so on and so forth. So basically, let's say you want to design for iPhone 14 Pro. All you just do is that you click on the iPhone 14 Pro on this button here. Once you click on it, the frame for the phone will display on the screen. So try it out and see if it works for you.
That's what.
Okay, that's it. So now, since you have the frame for the design, you can start adding elements inside it. Like now I've drawn a square inside, and you can do a number of things with that frame. So the frame now serves as the canvas for the designs you're going to make. It serves as the enclosure for the design you're going to make. So is that clear enough?
Yes, so anything that you want to design must be inside the frame, not outside.
Yeah, basically. You
Okay.
can also you can decide to still design outside, and then maybe later when you're done with the design, you now bring it into the frame.
Okay.
So that can still work, but there's no difference. If you walk outside, you can still drag inside the frame. If you walk inside the frame, you see the same thing.
Alright.
Yeah. So like I said, the frame now is the container for whatever is inside, which means if I delete the container, everything within the container will delete. So if I click on the delete button now, that square or the rectangle that's inside the frame will also delete. So you see that everything is blank now.
Yes.
Now also notice that as we design on this canvas, this left toolbar starts updating. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Yeah, now if I decide to draw another frame inside this frame, the toolbar keeps updating. So it just continues updating as I keep designing. So you've seen this a long array of different elements I've designed on this canvas. So everything keeps displaying here. You guess. So now this is the parent of this one. This one is the parent of this one. This one is the parent of this one. This one is the parent of this one. So that's how it works. So you have different elements inside the frame. So the oldest or the greatest or the biggest parents here, if you delete it, they delete all the children too. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get on to the next section here, the next button. The next button here is called the shape tools. So when you click on that drop down, you will see that you can draw a rectangle, you can draw a line, you can draw an arrow, you can draw an ellipse, which is like a circle. You can draw polygons, you can draw stars, and you can also add images to the design. So let's start with the first one, rectangle, which is up here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, now when I click on rectangle, we already did that before. You just click and drag and you draw a rectangle. Now let me shift it to one side. Now after drawing, after creating the shape, once you click on the shape and drag it, it will move with the mouse. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Try it out and see.
Yes, it's working.
Okay, that's cool. Now, that's for the rectangle 2. Now let's try another one. Click on that drop down and select line. Have you selected line? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I've selected the line.
Okay, now the same thing you did for the rectangle is the same thing you do for the line. So when you click and drag, it actually creates a line. So it can be as long as you want it to be. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So by default it's black color, so you can leave it that way. So just drag it and keep it near the rectangle like I've done. I want you to practice with dragging and dropping elements on the screen. So have you
I've
done
done
that?
that.
Okay, let's try another one. The arrow tool. Just the same thing you did with the line. Just click and drag and you create an arrow.
Okay.
You can also decide to move it forth and back. Then the next one, an ellipse tool. You can use it to draw a circle. Now I want to show you something. If you are drawing any shape and you want all the sides to be equal, what you do is that you will select the shape tool you want to use. You click and start dragging, but if you want it to be the same distance all around, you hold the shift key on your keyboard. So if I hold shift, notice how the shape becomes uniform.
Yes.
Have you seen? It becomes uniform. So try it out.
Yes, I've done it.
Yeah. So you've seen there are two different things now. So the same thing happens for the rectangle. If I want to draw a square, what I will do is that I will hold my shift key and it creates a square instead of a rectangle.
Okay.
Yeah. So the same thing you did for all these, the same thing you can do for both polygon and star. You can also create a star. Then if you want it to have equal dimensions all around, you can hold the shift key.
Okay.
Now, let's place an image in the design. If I click on place image, which is down here, the last option down here, it will open up this screen. Now, what I can quickly do is to click on an image. So you can check for any image on your laptop.
Okay.
So once you click on the image, just click on open. Where are you now?
I've clicked on open.
Okay. Now, click on any space, any blank place, and just place the image. Once you click on any blank space, the image will be created.
Okay, I've done that.
Okay. So yeah.
And then I
If
click
you
on inside the rectangle.
Yes, you can. If you want the image to be inside the rectangle, what you simply do is go and select that same option again. Select the image, click on open, and then click inside the rectangle. If you saw what I just did now, it's the same thing you do. Go here, select place image, select the image, click on open, and then just click inside the rectangle or inside the any shape you want to put it inside. Just click on the shape and it will enter inside the shape.
Okay.
Yeah, so try it out.
I've done it.
Okay, it worked out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the same thing, you can also adjust the shape to allow the image to fit in properly. So if you notice, when you bring your mouse close to the edge of the shape, either on the downside or the side or the top or the left and the right, you will notice that a two-sided arrow appears. Now when you click and drag, you actually adjust the shape of that object.
Yes.
So like that, I'm adjusting the shape of the rectangle.
Yes. I've done that.
Okay, so that's good. So we are progressing. Let's move to the next two here. The next two, we have pen and pencil tool here. So these ones actually allow you to freestyle with your design. So let's click on the pen tool first. Now, if I select the pen tool, I can draw any type of shape I want to. So let's say I want to draw something that looks like an S. I'll easily click, leave my mouse, click, leave my mouse, click, and click. Now when I press enter, I'm done designing something. If you look closely, I designed something like an S.
Yes.
So you can try it out. Click on the pen tool. You will not click and drag this time, just click,
Okay,
move,
I've done it.
click, move, click, move, click. So that's it.
I'm
Okay,
done.
so yeah, that's for the pen tool. So you can use the pen tool to design any shape at all, any shape at all you want to design. You can use the pen tool to design this same star that we dropped here. You can use it to design this ellipse. You can use it to design this circle. So the next tool there is pencil tool. So for pencil tool, you will click and drag. Have you seen the difference? For pen tool, you will not click and drag. For pencil tool, you click and drag. So there's a difference between the
Okay,
both of them.
okay, this one you use it to write.
Yeah, so you're not actually writing, you can use it to draw. So let's draw something. I've drawn a circle. Let me try to draw a star. So I've drawn a star. Just that's how the pencil tool works. So you can use it to draw anything you want to draw. But I think like you hardly have any use for the pencil tool. Maybe unless you want to just make an annotation on an object. Maybe you want to just show where something is, you just circle the thing. Circle.
Okay.
But like you hardly have use for the pencil tool. The one that you use the most is the pen tool. Okay, so that's for this. We are done with this button where the pen and the pencil tool is, which is used for drawing. The next one is a text tool. When you click on it, you'll be able to add any text you want to add to the design you're making. So I can quickly type this. Okay, sorry, let me type it on the dark background. So I'll click on the text tool, click on the dark background, and I'll write this is UI design. Now, if you notice, the text is very small down there. Now, to edit any of these things we've done here, the right toolbar will actually help us to do that. So, since this text is very small, I will just quickly come here. If you can see my mouse, click on this
Yes.
and just select any number that will make the text big. So I can select 40. So now the text is more visible. So you can
Okay.
quickly do that. Click on the text tool, click on any empty space, then type anything you want to type. And you can also come and edit the text on the right toolbar. So try it out.
I'm done.
Okay. Have you changed the size?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So that's for the text too. So you can just drag the text and keep it anywhere. I'm actually leaving these things here so that we'll come back to the right toolbar and try to adjust adjust the designs to make them look different and so on. So after the text tool, we have this next one, which is the resources tool. It shows you all the things all the the resources you can use to modify your design. So here you can see components, but at the moment they're not we have not created any components. What a component is a reusable design. A component is a reusable design. Let's imagine you want to design this particular image now that I designed. Let's imagine you want to design this thing and you are going to use um, this particular text here on all the screens you're designing. Let's say you're designing like 50 screens. What you would do is that you would take this text here and make it a component. Let me quickly do that. You see this text now. This is
Yes.
UI design. If I want to create a component, I can right click on it and click on create component, or I can come up here and click on this to create component. I'm just demonstrating what it is. So if I create a component and let's say I draw a rectangle here. Now instead of me coming to write that text I wrote down here, I'll easily go to the components bar and I'll see it here. And once I click on it, it will just come up. See it here now. It has
Okay.
become reusable. So now I can use it 100 times in the design just by coming here and clicking on components. It just keep multiplying. So you understand?
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's just to demonstrate it. But for now, we're not doing anything with components. So Control Z, Control Z, and Control Z. Okay. We have components, we have plugins, we have widgets. Now the plugins, like I said earlier, they are add-ons that you would use to make your design work faster. When I was introducing myself, I mentioned that I'm a lazy designer. These are the things that actually help me to be lazy because I work faster using these tools. Let's say, for example, you want to add an image to this square. Instead of going all the way to Google to go and search for the image, maybe you go and search for it. If you want to search for a goat, you search for goat, then you would open images. Then you will now select the goat's image you want to use. Then you download it, and then like this process is long. What a plugin will do is that a plugin would help me to just easily get that image, like that image plugin. It will easily fetch an image for me and insert it into the design directly without going through all that stress. So let me just show you how it works. If I click on this and I click on plugins, let me use Unsplash as the plugin. I will run the plugin. It takes some time to load up. I hope what the information I'm giving is not too much to grab.
Yes. I'm following you.
Okay, okay. So now, if I want that goat I'm looking for now, I will just come to this place that says search. I know you cannot follow now. I will show you how to use plugins later. I'm just demonstrating. So if I search for goats, GOAT, I'll just wait for a little while and then I will see some images coming up. So now I've seen goats here. Now watch what this plugin will do. If I click on this image, just one click, and the next thing it has appeared inside the box. Have you seen how fast that was?
It's faster than browsing it.
Sorry?
I said it's faster than having to search for it on Google.
Exactly, exactly. So a plugin will help you work faster. So I've quickly brought a goat into this image and it's fast, very fast. So that's the work of a plugin. So after the resources button, we have hand tool. Now the hand tool actually just helps you to move your screen around. So as you can see, I can move everything I've designed to one side and start designing on an empty space here. So if you click on the hand tool, all you do is click and drag. As you click and you drag, you move everything that's in the screen away. You can move it front, you can move it back, you can move it up, you can move it down. And you can also position it the way you want it to be positioned. Yeah, so that's for the hand tool. If you're using are you using a mouse or a trackpad?
I'm using a mouse.
Okay, if you're using a mouse, that middle button on the mouse, if you click on it and drag, it does the same thing as the hand tool. Try it out. Once you click on it, you'll see that the icon changes to a hand icon.
Mm.
Yeah, so like that you can click and drag, and it will drag the elements on the screen. Is it working out?
Yes,
Is it working?
yes, yes.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Um, the next tool here is comments tool. If you are working with somebody on this same design, from time to time you can decide to add comments to say that, okay, this, let's say you want to tell the person that this ellipse is too long. Now if there's anybody working on this design project with me, the person will be able to see this comment I've made. So if you notice on the right toolbar, you will see the comments there. So that comment I made here is just here, and the person can also click here to reply the comments down here. So once you click on the comments, you can reply it. But for now, we won't be using this, so we'll just leave this on to be. So I'll remove the comments. I can delete the comments. So that's for the comments tool, but it's hardly used. Hardly used. It's only a few times that you end up using this comments tool. So still on the top toolbar, in the middle here, you will see that your project is named untitled. There's no title for it. So if you click on untitled, you can actually add a title to it. So you can name it what you want to name it. So you can say first Figma class. So that becomes the name of the project. And this first directory, this shows where the project is saved. So this first Figma class is saved in drafts. From the home screen, you can create multiple projects and then make designs under the project. So for now, I'm making this design in the draft project. So this is where you will find this first Figma class if you're looking for it from the home screen. Let me quickly show you. On the home screen, I have different projects here, if you can see.
Yes.
Yeah, but that design I'm making now, this first Figma class design, it is saved here under draft. So if I open draft and come maybe around here, it should display here.
Okay, I've seen it.
So under draft, the design should be around here. I don't know, it's not loading up, but this way it's going to be. So that's it. So anytime you create themes and create projects, you can also change the location of the design around here. You can move it to the new project you want to move it to. So that's just that for now. To the right hand side, you see your profile, and then you can also share your design. So if I click on this, I will have a link that I can share to somebody to go and see what I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. The person you're sharing the link to can either view the design or can edit the design.
Mm.
Okay, so I realized that my screen was too small, so I just increased the font to make it bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, so here this button is used to present a design. So let's say you finish designing a number of screens and you want to show somebody how those screens look like. This is where you come and do it on this present button here. Now after that one, the next button here allows you to zoom the screen. So if you're working on this design and it's too close, you can zoom out or you can zoom in. So you can play with those buttons, but they are shortcuts. If you're using a mouse, you can quickly hold the control button and then scroll forward or backward to zoom in or out. Try it out and see. Hold the control button, scroll
Yes.
forward and
It's
scroll
working.
backward to zoom in or out.
It's working.
Okay, so that's it. That's how easy it is. So if you're not holding the control key, if you scroll front and back, you will notice that it's moving
Yes,
the items, the elements up and down. You seen that, right?
yes, I've seen it.
Okay. So let's say you zoomed into one particular object so much and you want to see everything that is in the canvas. What you do is you come to this same place, to the zoom options. Then you come to you can either come here and say zoom to fit. When you click on zoom to fit, it will show you all the designs that are in that canvas.
Okay.
So as I click zoom to fit, it showed me everything else in the canvas. Have you noticed?
Yes, I've noticed
So
that.
let's say for example I move this design all the way here and this one all the way here, and I'm focused on this particular on this particular image. Once I click on zoom to fit, it will show me everything that's in the canvas. So it shows this one, it shows this one, it shows even that one I was focusing on, and it shows the rest.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, yes.
So let me see do the same thing, zoom to fit. It will bring everything close. So I think so far we are done with this top app bar. So we've seen all these tools here, and at least we know how to use most of them, even if you forget for now. As you start designing interfaces, you'll be able to use them, or you know where to go and get the one you want to use. Another
Okay.
important thing to do in your free time is to try and know the shortcuts that you use to access these tools.
The shortcut, if you press it on your keyboard, we use the enter button or the space keyboard.
Come again.
I said if you know the control,
Yeah.
the short for the icons
Yes.
or for the tool you're going to use, we use enter button or the space button
No, you
on your
just click
keyboard.
you just click on that particular shortcut. Once you click on it, it activates.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, if I want to draw a rectangle, the shortcut for drawing a rectangle is R. So once I click on R, it will switch to rectangle. So once I start clicking and dragging, it draws a rectangle for me.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Now, if I want to scale this object, the shortcut for scaling is K. So once I click on K, it actually brings, you've seen the the double-headed arrow now becomes like extra doubled. So it's
Yes.
not just the regular arrow, it becomes different now if you've noticed.
Mm.
So now I can scale. So I did that by simply pressing K.
Okay.
So now the shortcuts help us to be faster. So instead of coming all the way here to come and start selecting what you want to select, you can quickly click on the key, and it takes you to the key, the shortcuts you want to use.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we're done with this top app bar. So I think what you do in your free time is just go over, click on the drop down button, and you see the shortcuts. Just learn them so that if there's any time I say draw a rectangle, you just quickly click on arrow and you draw the rectangle. If I say draw a line, you click on L. If I say write text, you click on T. You get things like that. It will help you
Yes.
to be faster with the design. Okay, so let's focus on the right toolbar. Now, the right toolbar is naturally or by default, it's empty. It's always this way. The only thing you see, the only thing you can edit now is the background color of your design workspace. So if I want to change this color from this gray now to something like blue, I'll quickly come here. If you can see where my mouse is, I'll click on
Yes.
that small box, and I can change the design of the background to anything I want it to be. Have you seen that? So I can make it white, I can make it red. If I come here to this slider, I can drag to any color that I want it to be, and that will be the background color of the design, of the canvas, not the design actually, the canvas. So if you are comfortable working in a blue background, you can make your background blue. and you can work like that. If you are comfortable working in the ash on an ash background, you can also do that, or in a gray background. For me, I like the gray background because I like dark mode. So I I'll just work on this background the way it is. So that's that's the only setting you can set here. But let
Okay.
me take you back to the original one, which is 1E, 1E, 1E. That's for me. Oh. I don't know if you're using a light background, it should be brighter than my own. Okay, so moving on. If I click on any element here, if I click on, let's say I click on this picture now, the right toolbar, it populates. I now see different options that would make this design to change. So let me move this image to this part here. Let's focus on this particular image. Now, notice how if I change the values of this, it will also change the position of this image. Like I said, the X and the Y, they represent the position of the image. Now, notice something. If I come very close, if I hover on top the X, have you seen that double-sided arrow there?
Yes.
If I click and drag, it changes the value. If I click to the right hand side, it increases the value. If I click to the left hand side, it reduces the value. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can try it out. Now, if you come to the Y, if you click and drag, it does the same thing. It moves it either up or down.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, another thing. If I come to W and I click and drag, it adjusts the size of the image, the width of the image. That's W.
Yes.
Have you seen that? If I click on H, it adjusts the height of the image. So it can be
Okay.
longer, it can be shorter. So just like that. Now, let's say for instance, I don't want only the height to change. I want a situation where as I'm changing the height, it also changes the width. I'll click on this particular icon here. Have you seen this icon? If I click on it, it will lock, it will constrain this this dimension to this other dimension, which means as I adjust one, the other one will adjust too. So notice,
Okay.
as I adjust the
Yes.
width, the height is adjusting too. So it adjusts uniformly. You get? But
Yes.
if I deactivate it, only one will adjust at a time. So that's how it works. So that's for that one. Then the next icon down here is to adjust the rotation of the element. So for this image, if I click and drag, sorry, if I click and drag, it changes the rotation. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So if I want this image to be rotated at 45 degrees, I'll just click on 45 and press enter, and it will rotate to 45 degrees. Have you seen that?
Yes. I've seen it.
Yeah. But let me leave it at 0 degrees since it's going to leave the orientation to be normal. So 0 degrees is normal. Now, the next button here changes the corner radius of the design. So for this rectangle, if I want to soften the edges, I'll click and drag on this stuff. And if you notice, the edges of the design is rounding. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can try it out too. So click and drag to round the edges or create a radius on the edges.
Okay. I've done it.
Yeah. So another thing you can do is to let me take this back to 0. Another thing you can do is to click on this icon here. When you click on this icon, you can adjust each of the edges independently. You can adjust one, you can adjust this one, you can adjust this one, you can adjust this one. So let me show you how to do that. If I come here Just hover for some time and you see which part of the radius, which part of the corner this one represents. So this is the top left corner, the first one, which is here. If I adjust the top left corner, let's say I adjust it to 40, the top left corner will adjust to 40. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Just the top left corner alone, only that one. Let me just make it 100. Now if I do that, if I come again, if I want to adjust this one here, I'll also come and hover. This one is top right, this one is bottom right, so I want to adjust the bottom right again. I'll click on that one and change it to 100. The bottom right adjust. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So you can decide to adjust each of them independently. A faster way to do that is to come, if you look, you will see one small circle there with a dot in the center.
Mm.
If you click and drag on
Radius.
it, it will also do the same thing. Have you seen?
Okay.
It also does the
Yes.
same thing. So if I come and click on it and drag, it does the same thing. So yeah, it adjusts the corner radius. So it's faster to do it this way. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So we are done with this part. Now let me quickly show you something. Up here there are some that we skipped, some of these tools here. Now these tools will only work when you have more than one item you're working with. So let me quickly duplicate this image here. To duplicate, you can either right click and copy, and then also right click and paste. It will duplicate it. But
Okay.
the faster way to do that is to hold down your Alt key. When you hold the Alt key down, you will notice that your cursor becomes 2. It doubles. Have you seen that? Your cursor will
Yes.
become 2. Now when you click and drag, you duplicate the image.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, to select the both images or to select the both elements I'm working with, I will hold down Shift and select the other one. The two of them become selected. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, now let me make one smaller than the other. So this one is smaller. Let me okay, let me leave it like this. So now one is smaller than the other one, and I'm selecting the two. I want you to see the difference. Now these tools have become active because I'm working with more than one element. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Now if I click on the very first one, it aligns the two elements to the left. So if I click on it, notice how this one and this one are aligned to the left. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yes, I've seen it.
At the same time, if I select this one now, it aligns their centers horizontally. Now see what happens. If I click on this, the smaller one is aligned in the center of the bigger one.
Mm.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen it.
The next one aligns it to the right. So it moves it to the right. The next icon here aligns it to the top. So since this one is smaller, it's the one moving around. The bigger one
Mm.
stays as the elder brother, while the junior brother is being tossed up and down. You understand?
Okay.
So if I
Yes.
click here, it moves to the top. If I click here, it aligns to the center vertically. And if I click this one, it aligns to the bottom.
Okay.
So let's say I want to position this smaller image in the center. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
If you want to position this smaller picture in the center, I'll click on align horizontal center and I'll click on align vertical center, and now it's in the middle. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So let me quickly do it again. Let's say this smaller image is one side now, and I want the smaller image to be in the center of the bigger one. I'll click on align horizontal center and align vertical center, and now it's in the middle. Have you seen that?
You said you click on what?
Align horizontal center and align vertical center.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me quickly round up. I think it's almost 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's still select the two objects. If I come here, there are more options, and if I click on the more options, I will see that I can either distribute vertical spacing or distribute horizontal spacing. Now let me explain it. Let me increase the number of elements to about 4. Now notice how, sorry, let it be 4. Notice how this one and this one, the space in between is very wide. Meanwhile, this one and this one, the space is small. And the same thing for this one. The space between is small. If I want the space between all of them to be equal, what I will do is to come here and click on distribute horizontal spacing. And now the space between all of them are equal. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I can repeat it. Let me go back. Let me rearrange this thing. Now you see that the space between all of them are not equal, right?
Yes.
Now I'll select all of the elements. Come here, click on more options, click on distribute horizontal spacing. And when I click on this, all the spacing horizontally becomes equal. Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen it.
Now the same thing for the other side, that's the vertical direction. Now, if I want all this to have the same spacing in between, I'll click on this and click on distribute vertical spacing. And now the spacing in between is vertical. And if I want all of this to be in the same line, like to be aligned in the center, I will come here and click on align horizontal centers. And when I click on that, all of them are aligned. Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen it.
Fine. So you can play with all these tools and see what they do. If I click on this, all of them come to the center. Have you seen that?
Okay.
So yeah, you can play around with the tools in your free time. Try to know how all of these work.
Okay.
So I think so far we stopped here. We've covered these parts and these parts on the right toolbar. So next
Okay.
time when we meet, we'll continue. We'll go down through this layers panel and then try to beautify or modify our designs.
Alright. When
Yeah.
will we meet name? When next will we meet?
The classes are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it will be
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
I'm not available.
Yeah, there's a timetable. I think I'll repost it on the group.
I said on Wednesday I'm not available on Wednesday.
Um, well, let's say it to be, but those are fixed classes, sha. Like I don't have power over the the time that the classes is set. So
Okay.
what I can do for you is, if on Wednesday we hold a class and you're not available, I can just hold a short session on maybe Thursday to just go through what we did on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I hope you're able to pick one or two.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's okay. So when we come next, we'll continue exploring the interface.
Okay.
Yeah. So have a nice night. Remember to practice. When you keep
Alright.
practicing,
Thank you.
you understand better.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Alright.
Okay.